Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. Also, much thanks to CARIRI as well for having us. So today, just before we start, did everybody get one of our brochures and leaflets? Okay, great, perfect. All right. So today we're going to be discussing protecting MSMEs from the age of digital transformation. I'm going to go through a little bit of what Precision is or what we provide. We'll go through a little exercise of getting to know the audience, a little education on how we could benefit from this session, discuss some preventative measures, and then we'll look at a solution that Precision created to actually target those micro, small businesses that fits within their budget and help them to maximize that protection layer. And then finally, we'll do a little final quiz exercise where we have some lovely prizes to give out to our 3 winners. All right, so Precision, as a whole, we are a MSSP, so Managed Security Service Provider. What that means is that we take the heavy lifting for the customer. A lot of smaller businesses don't have that IT team, dedicated cyber team, in order to look after their assets and resources. So basically, we come in, we do that heavy lifting, we create some kind of communication channel like VPN, virtual private network, or some kind of tunnel to communicate with the client's assets, and they're able to do that security portion for them. Also, Precision is the regional premier first cyber fusion security operations center in the region. I'll go a little deeper into that within the presentation, but basically what that means is that we have a locally manned center that basically oversees all security operations for our clients. That gives clients that safe peace of mind on that database 24/7 basis. Our vision to be a trusted cybersecurity and digital transformational partner, and our mission is always to look after and safeguard the client's assets. We built on the philosophy of that peace of mind, where customers could, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, they can sleep without any disturbance or having someone else look after their assets from a security perspective, whether it be your network, your laptops, mobile phones. Once it has any kind of connectivity to that outside world, that internet, we have someone that is able to look after that for you. Our team made up of multiple engineers here locally as well as around the world. Most of those brands you would see, Checkpoint, Fortinet, and whatnot across the world, those brands can't operate on their own locally, and therefore they have to partner with an MSSP in order to provide their services, and that is where we come in. As mentioned before, we offer that 24/7 support. Over 75 plus years of collective experience between us and our team of engineers. This is just a small representation of all our different partners and brands that we represent here in Trinidad as well as across the region. So most of them can't just come here and set up shop and work. So we take that legal aspect and we allow to provide those services to you, the clients. Over the years, Precision has prided itself on achieving certifications that are industry standard, locally, regionally, and internationally, that make Precision qualified enough in order to provide certain services and therefore be that third party to a lot of clients that clients may be a bit uncertain or may not find that compliance necessary. These are currently the different Caribbean countries that we actually have physical presences and operate within. Of course, headquartered here in Trinidad, all the way up to Jamaica and down to Guyana. We have personnel on the ground working and are available to assist conglomerates, micro enterprises, medium and small as well. At our core, these are some of the services that we offer to our clients. There are a lot more, but these are the most important ones that we see clients requesting. So having that assessment, testing infrastructure, that 24/7 monitoring, finding some kind of compliance, those small companies who may be starting up in fintech, and looking to do credit card payments or whatnot, you have certain compliances that you are required to meet, we can intervene and help you get there. From a digital transformation perspective, stuff like analytics, digital forensics, so companies who may have unfortunately found a gap where an intrusion may have happened and their data get leaked, we can come in, find out how that happened, and therefore provide some kind of report and remediation to prevent it in the future. And of course, solutions as a service, which is more or less what most small companies are moving towards, where, of course, that third party handing over the heavy lifting. Over time, we have created a lot of partnerships, and IDB Labs being one of the main ones. Currently, we are in the process of building 2 labs, one here in Trinidad with the UTT, John D campus, and the University of the West Indies in Mona. Actually, next week, we'll be flying to Jamaica to actually do the official launch of that reverse engineering lab that we're opening in Jamaica. And hopefully, before the end of the year, the UTT lab will be up and running here in Trinidad doing forensic research. What this allows is that we have the intention of upskilling our youth and therefore allowing them to get the knowledge from the university level and therefore able to transition directly into the workplace, use the knowledge that they have learned, and therefore help clients and businesses benefit from that. So before we continue, we're going to do a little exercise. So on the leaflet on your guys' table, it should have a QR code on it. If possible, you can scan the QR code. That QR code will take you to a form. It's a safe code, so no need to worry. You can go ahead and scan it. It can take about like 5 minutes or so and fill it out. It is a quick assessment that would therefore give you a rating at the end of the score, at the end of the form, sorry. You can get a bit of understanding of where your business kind of currently sits based on your threat landscape on your infrastructure. Okay? If you have any questions on the form, you can feel free to ask. Okay, we good? All right. All right, so just by a show of hands, how many companies here currently have an IT team or some type of cybersecurity team in place? 1, 2, all right. Who have any kind of protective control in place? That could be like firewall, antivirus, endpoint protection, software, hardware. Okay, not bad. What about security awareness? Any company does security awareness across their organization with the employees, especially at the onboarding stage? No? No, one. All right. How many persons here actually understand the investment in cybersecurity for their business? Yeah. And how many companies here believe that they cannot be attacked? You believe that? All right. Okay. All right. So a lot of those questions are cultural questions that we need to kind of change in our local and regional landscape. So from a statistics standpoint, 43% in 2023 of businesses that were attacked were small businesses. 46% businesses with less than 1,000 employees. 95% of cyber attacks, human error. That's where the security awareness training comes in. 27% of small businesses, no measures in place, therefore completely vulnerable. Remote work, personal device use, bringing your cell phone, your personal laptop and connecting to the company's Wi-Fi. Big gap open in there, vulnerable, right? So that's where we need to create that protection layer within businesses, small, large, or conglomerates. These are a few phrases that my sales specialists come back to me that they hear from customers on a daily basis. Too small to be targeted. We already have some antivirus software in place. Cybersecurity is an IT problem. That cybersecurity is not in the budget this fiscal. We know how to protect ourselves. We don't need no assistance. And we did a backup last year. A backup last year is not going to save you from an attack yesterday. If you look at the transformational process, 6 phases. Each one of these phases requires some type of data collection, recording, report, and presentation. That data is your personal data. Some may be publicly shareable. Some of that data may be internally confidential. If that data leaks locally, internationally, on the dark web, you're talking about reputational damage to a company and even worse. So, transformational on the landscape for MSMEs. So MSMEs are the heart of the economy. That being said, because they are the small businesses that come up with the new entrepreneurial ideas in order to help make the bigger companies reach further, have a further reach. So that little app that an SME will develop in order for some type of processing, that app would therefore few years down the line, be bought from a bigger company, and therefore that app would therefore generate it into a money generator for conglomerates. So starting from small, protecting your asset, your IPO, your personal intellectual property and whatnot, can therefore in the future make your business grow and therefore have that reputational balance as it scales up. Some of the key drivers that we witness is that mobile first. So small businesses, everybody has a mobile phone. You can start developing on your phone. And therefore you scale up to maybe a couple computers, you start buying servers and whatnot, and your business grows. We have a lot of cloud services nowadays that therefore allows people to have that processing power, that ability to save data in the cloud, no need for that kind of physical infrastructure, that investment in that physical infrastructure. Governmental digitization programs. A lot of programs in the government nowadays are being digitized. Those programs, most of them are developed by a lot of small companies and bought over by the government. And then the global competition. Yes, Trinidad may be small on the map. Yes, our region may just be a portion around the world. But from small companies developing and being seen on that international market is where we get that local recognition from. And therefore, investors come here into Trinidad, take our ideas, and therefore make it bigger for their growth and benefit. A lot of common barriers that are faced here in the region is that limited technical expertise. So that is why our partnership with the IDB are building 2 labs that are there therefore to upscale students at a tertiary level, helps to build that pool of educated individuals so they can go into the marketplace, share their knowledge, and better the organizations locally. And then budget constraints. That lack of investors locally, therefore hinders investment. Cybersecurity risks. The main barrier or the hidden barrier that a lot of people skip out, which is the underlying phase that no one notices until they are attacked or succumb to some kind of threat. And that change management challenges, growing from one stage to the next, making the adjustment based on different factors that you need to overcome. So from a transformational standpoint, this is very contradictory with regards to the 4 pillars of transformation. In this case, we are looking at marketing, e-commerce, smart operations, and then the customer engagement. These 4 pillars are all part of what makes up a business from small. These are the easy areas in order to invest in and help scale your business. So having these 4 pillars built correctly from the ground up helps you set that foundation for your business. And then we have the future outlook, where we have the implementation of artificial intelligence, IoT, new machine learning, your ChatGPT, DeepSeek. And then for MSMEs who are leveraging fintech, so that payment platform, those easy payment platforms in order for them to do that electronic transactions, whether it be mobile, card reader and whatnot, taking transactions from their cell phones. We must stay protected. These are 3 quotes that should be recognized and understood. So it takes 20 years for a company to build its reputation, but only a few minutes for that reputation to be disseminated, more or less. So cyber attack hits a company, you already built a good client base. Imagine that cyber attack leaking your client's credit card information. Nobody would want to do business with that company anymore. And a cyber attacker, same as a bank robber, just wants to come in, thief the data, and in most cases, ransomware, resell that data for money. And then there's no single solution to protect a business from a cyber attack. Breast protection is a layered approach. Different types of solutions don't have to be expensive, but laying and covering different sectors and therefore closing the gaps for that cyber attack. Thanks to one of our partners, we will attribute this current start data. This is from January to May of this year. Malicious attacks, this is just for Trinidad. So these attacks within Trinidad, 29.6 million. Most attacks go unheard of, unregistered in Trinidad. Malware distribution. A lot of malware gets passed via emails and whatnot, plugging pen drives into computers, 40.5 thousand. 114 botnet attacks. That's little softwares that sit on different computers and move information one-to-one, sharing data, and allows, therefore, a spread like a worm through infrastructure. Brute force. That is how many times some attacker has been knocking on the doors of companies' infrastructure trying to get access. And exploitation, where access was gained, and they actually tried to receive whether it be data, financial information, credit card information, and whatnot. This is the data as it pertains to the whole of Latin America. So yes, Trinidad numbers are a small portion, but still those numbers are a lot larger. So now let's look at the digitization. threats that are formed within the digital realm. So your phishing attacks, ransomware, data breaches, insider threats, and social engineering. Nowadays, the social engineering and the phishing attacks are the most popular that we see within the region. So those email chains with click here links within the email that spam a lot of organizations and people fall for them. It's always good to get some kind of verification if you're uncertain about that. There are other solutions in place that can help prevent those attacks from even those emails from even reaching your servers, reaching your inbox. So we advise customers, get some type of consultation, especially if you see it frequently within your organization, a lot of emails that may say that email coming from the CEO, but the CEO didn't send those email. Get some kind of consultation where that system can get a bit of revision and advise how to move forward to prevent those consistent attacks. So the impacts caused by such attacks: financial loss, operational downtime. For instance, an email address get compromised to the CEO. All those important emails that he would have been required, he no longer has access to. Legal liabilities. So companies that have certain compliance, they have to stand up to. Getting an attack for a lot of companies, especially if they have no cyber insurance in place, it can require them to lose their compliance with certain organizational boards. And therefore, without that compliance, they cannot operate. Customer trust. Losing that customer trust, part of losing that brand reputation. Once that brand reputation is lost, no one will no longer appreciate doing business with that company. So these are just a few basic cyber hygiene techniques that we advise customers to take. Most of them require no cost at all, so it can be implemented across the organization. So simple employee awareness training. If companies cannot pay for platforms in order to train employees, there are free resources on YouTube. A lot of that exists. Regular software updates. A lot of companies or users may just every day use the computer, close it, they go home, come back to work the next day, open back up, start working. Every time you see that update come up to update the computer, they put it on snooze, and the computer never gets updated. They go to a coffee shop and connect to, for instance, Starbucks Wi-Fi. Somebody else sitting in Starbucks or outside of Starbucks who's on the same network may have ability to connect. We call it a man-in-the-middle attack, where they connect to the internet, and instead of the data going from the internet to your laptop, it goes to them, and then it looks as or appears as though it's coming to you. And they are reading all your important email and data from there. Multi-factor authentication. A lot of software, including your cell phone nowadays, you have the ability to use Face ID, biometric with your thumbprint, other than just using that password and PIN. Having 2 forms or 3 forms or more of those ways to authenticate you or the user accessing a device is very important, and help create more barriers for attacker to access your system. And of course, if company has the ability to make that financial investment, we have a solution that I will discuss later on, that monitoring solution, investing in some type of physical or virtual firewall to protect your network infrastructure, or just some type of endpoint protection or antivirus on your laptops or desktops, just to be able to detect some type of worm or virus that may be trying to do something malicious on that device. So resilience is something that we strive for, and we kind of preach to our clients. Having that resilience in place, meaning that if something goes down, you still have the ability to operate. Server going down, do you have some kind of backup in place that you could reach out to, whether it's a cloud server or offsite backup, in order to restore that data, at least temporarily get your company at the operational stage? So you have the assessment stage, strategy development, implementation, monitoring, and adaptation. So from the assessment stage, you want to analyze what is your assets, what are your most valuable assets within your organization that keep you operating on a day-to-day basis. And then identifying those vulnerabilities or gaps within your organization that therefore could cripple you if you get attacked. And then your current capabilities. Are you at a point where you could invest, or you need to hold back and do some type of internal methodology in order to protect your organization? From a strategy development point, setting resilient goals. Could I go down for 4 hours, 24 hours, a week as an organization, and therefore not cripple my operation where I am forced to close my doors and shut up my business? Could I have some type of data protection in place in order to be resilient? Or a set recovery time that I expect to be back up and running no matter what happens to my organization? The implementation phase is where you actually look at putting those protective measures in place. So security tools, having those backups on site or cloud, as just methods to implement in order in protecting and keep that resilience going within your organization. And then you have the monitoring and adaptation phase, where you need to continuously monitor your business. A lot of customers, their business scales continuously, and they are unaware that you buy new systems, buy new laptops, adding them to your network, and not realizing that these new devices that may not have that set baseline that you originally started from are still open to those vulnerabilities, and therefore gives way for some type of attack to enter your business. So continuously reviewing your infrastructure, your assets, is a very important stage of your day-to-day business maintenance. So what we like to preach as that layered approach is a defense in depth. So from our partners, we have kind of devised aligning partners with solutions. So as best practice, what solutions fit best in order to protect organizations. So it's not one size fits all. There is a solution or some type of implementation therefore available per organization depending on size or type of operation. And having a defense in depth or a layered approach is the way in order to have those different layers of being protection. So even if one part is compromised, there is another layer in place in order for attackers to not move to a second step within your organization. So now I'll speak about Overwatch. So Overwatch is actually a solution that we created, scalable for any size organization. We have clients who have 2 employees. We have conglomerates who have 6,000 employees using the same solution and able to scale regardless. This solution more or less gives total visibility to an organization. It allows the organization in order to view their assets, view the traffic on their assets, view the protection level of their assets completely, as well as having a dedicated 24/7-hour team reviewing those assets where the client sleeps, and therefore able to create those alerts and put those measures in place to remediate if any attack takes place. And of course, our mission is to secure the client's digital assets. Also, Overwatch is not only a solution. It's a solution as a software as well as a physical infrastructure as well. So what we did is that we took a SIEM, which is a security information event management system. Basically what it does, it takes data or logs from different various devices, solutions, it can be cloud solutions as well, and it correlates that data, right? So basically having a dashboard of a list of events that basically takes place within our organization from a digital standpoint. Then we introduce our XDR, which is our extended detection and response engine. What this does, it has the ability to detect threats using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and therefore combining that detection and response engine is basically making it a bulletproof or a very remarkable solution to protect any type of attack. We integrated the two and came up with Overwatch. So we took the platform and integrated the engine with it and allows that complete visibility and protection. So a detection takes place, the engine kicks in, it is therefore able to, whether it be quarantine an attack, take a device completely off a network, shut the device down, block a user access, block email access that may be compromised, and therefore protect the business. This is all done on a 24/7 basis here in Trinidad from a local team. So it being an integration of two types of solution creates a hybrid approach. One cannot work without the other. If one works without the other, there is therefore a form of a gap and therefore an area for compromise. So with our integration and seamlessness between the two, it therefore makes it a bit bulletproof in our monitoring aspects and protection of a client. So basically having your users, computers and whatnot from a client organization, we have the data flow of logs, alerts feeding into the SIM. Therefore, we have the XDR kicking in. We have both from the client side and both from our SOC side, being a security operations center, where analysts 24/7 monitor these logs, these detections and whatnot. And those are all carried through with the integration of Office 365, your email, AWS, Google or whatnot, into the platform, and therefore the MDR takes place. So that managed detection and response, where once it is detected, it's investigated. Some containment takes place once that detection is deemed to be malicious, as well as having that threat hunting aspect, therefore to keep updating and therefore correlating, is this threat really a positive threat or is it a false positive? So at our core, it's a 24/7 monitoring solution. It utilizes AI, so artificial intelligence, so there's continuously learning. Similarly, with the machine learning, continuously learning, and therefore, once a threat is detected or any kind of threat signature around the world, our SOC is updated instantly. The extended detection and response, therefore integrating multiple security tools to therefore protect users' assets, and therefore also something that we have very unique to our regional SOC or Overwatch is that a redundant geographical redundancy. So we have a SOC here in Trinidad and Tobago physically. There is also one in Jamaica. There is one in Florida, one in Michigan, and also one in India. All manned by professionals with years of training and a vast amount of expertise. So a quote I would just like to leave with you guys today before I wrap up. With good data and the right technology, people and institutions today can still solve hard problems and change the world for better. So a lot of entrepreneurs may think that, they have an idea and it may not really be there for the market. That's the wrong mindset. Try, push it to the market, get that investment back in, and some type of technological solution may be able to aid you as well in order to get in your solution out there or product out there. So there's just a bit of contact for us, and I would like to thank you guys today for witnessing this presentation. We're going to go into now is just a little quick quiz assessment and have a few prizes for the top 3 winners from that, okay?